Peterson climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come
Is up, Jabroni? JJ back here with the crew. Bucket Hat, Travis, Snyder, and Kurt. Kurt, I like the hoodie today. Sweatshirt season for some of us. So, rocking the DraftKings holiday sweater, breaking that bad boy out. It's been months since I've taken this puppy out. But who I would like to start with is you, Mangone, breaking out the bucket hat, giving like that Happy Gilmore vibe. So that looks like the DraftKings bucket hat. Is that correct? Maybe talk on why we're going with this apparel today.
That is correct. We're going with the DraftKings bucket hat, and I'll tell you why. So, one Anthony Wayne, as you like to call him, I pop on a call with him the other day, and he's wearing the bucket hat. And listen, I'm not a big bucket hat guy. I make fun of Rubio Dimes for the old bucket hat, but he was saying, Rubio's got the bucket hat on. Why can't I wear it, right? If it's going to make me run hot, and Tony confirmed, he said, if I'm going to win all the money wearing the bucket hat, he'd wear it on the workbench, he said. And I thought he brought up some great points.
I bet he would look really good in a bucket hat. I know it's Pride Month and everything, so I just want to think. I feel like he could really pull off a bucket hat.
Well, I'm just saying, listen, I made fun of Rubio for the bucket hat. Rubio, I will continue to make fun of you. But if it's going to help me catch a heater like you, Rubio Dimes, I'm going to wear the bucket hat. I'm in. You can make fun of me if I'm going to be filling my pockets with 40+ K weekly. So I'm going to wear the bucket hat for a little bit. We're going to try and ride this thing out. First time wearing it. I just opened the box, Dunkel. I haven't even opened it. I put the box away, was going to get to it, and I said, it's bucket hat season, so we're going to do our best to pick some winners here right now.
There's a beach towel in there, some other, fancy.
I got the shades. I saw the shades look good.
Exactly. So no, good stuff there. And look, I think we all want to try to run as hot as Rubio. So anything that can get us comparable in that sense. Yeesh, what a heater. Good for him. No, couldn't happen to a nicer kid. Actually, that's not true. He's a douchebag sometimes. But it is nice. It is nice to see him slam home a bunch. So good for him. Super happy there. Just a quick shout out to the chat before I'll move around the panel. Kev, who another Kurt burner. Riley, Scott. What's up, boys? And also, don't be shy in the chat. You can say hello. Nobody likes a silent stalker. Also, like the video, you D-bags. Really not hard. What's up, Maddie? What's up, Jason? Yeah, Snyder's quiz. Like locked in, Jay. We'll get to him, but he's quite locked in. Speaking of locked in, Northeast Keegan Bradley, Kurt, was a big trend last week on the show. I know that. I don't know did anybody have him as a long shot to win in their value? I know that his name was said all over the show. It's surprising in the DFS side. It's surprising that nobody took a chance with him as a long shot. But Kurt, I did know you mentioned his name quite a bit. Happy to see your boy do well last week, right?
Yeah, it was nice. He was carrying a lot of lineups. Morikawa hurt some, but still a decent week overall. Happy for Keegan. Definitely was an emotional win for him. So good for him. Yeah, and always play him in the Northeast. Don't forget that. Don't forget that rule either. We'll keep riding that.
And any Bradley. And Maddie, I do have a bucket hat. I didn't want to clone Mangone's game. Mangone's got his own swag going this show. I'll let him ride that out. Next week, maybe I'll break out a tank top to try to join the boys. But I'll wait a few weeks for the bucket hats. Mangone's vibe right now. Snyder, take it over to you. Saving the best for last, as some would say. You also look extra locked in this week. Not that you need it, but the jawline's looking high. A lot of stuff going on behind you this week. We got the double run pure. You even took out the bets shirt. You always love to see that. You're going to get me on the good side right away with that. How'd you do last week? And obviously looking forward to the Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week last week, both bets and DFS side. I took a pretty big stance on Scotty. After round 2, he was plus 110 to finish inside the top 10, so I took a pretty big stance there. So that was good. And then DFS-wise, it was a slightly positive day, probably like a plus 130, plus 140 type day in the DFS street. So that's always good once you can get a little profit back there. So excited to dive into this. We've actually got some decent names up top. I was expecting a much weaker field, but we've got some guys here potentially chasing some points as the season's kind of wrapping up, and you must get in the top 75 this year to make the playoffs. It's no longer a top 125 gets into the playoffs, you must be in the top 75 this year, which is interesting. And there's a guy by the name of Justin Thomas that's right on the line there, which is probably why he's teeing it up this week, I think.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, and some interesting points. And even like as I looked at the odds leaderboard, like to see Tony Finau as a favorite with Ricky Fowler this week is interessante, as the cool kids will say. Riley, great. I'm good to hear you bet Keegs. I hope other people did as well. I know that we mentioned him a ton on the show. I say we as if I was. You guys mentioned him a ton on the show last week. So hopefully people, just kind of correlated wise got down. So good to see you, Riley, that, on your own, you bet him. And Kevin, you and Dietrich this week is long shot. So we'll talk through
the Dietrich play this week too. I like the Dietrich long shot. I don't have it on my card, but I was really, really looking at it hard. So maybe you might go back to back, Riley.
Yeah. And this is about to be, some folks' favorite week of the part of their week coming up. The Snyder course preview for the Rocket Mortgage. Look at Snyder, like licking his lips. You just love to see it. Just like ready to pounce. The Soldiers, another slam dunk this week. So great work there, Snyder. But yeah, walk us through the Rocket Mortgage and what we can expect.
Yeah, we're here at Detroit Golf Club here. It's going to measure 7,370 yards. It's going to play as a par 72 here. Average size greens here, right around 5,200 square feet. They're going to be rolling at around 11 on the stent meter. Golfers are only going to see one hole with water in play here this week. 87 bunkers will be littering the property here, and we're going to see a lot more shorter par fours here with an emphasis on wedge play here again this week, like we saw last week. The fairways are right around 30 yards wide on average, and we will see some more bomb and gouge methods here, I think, as that's been a really good positive correlation there. Just bombing off the tee. The rough here isn't too bad. It's a little long, but it's not too penal by any means there. Missing the fairways isn't bad here, so I expect a lot of people to bomb away off the tee here. Last year, 16% of the approach shots came from inside 100 yards, which is well above the tour average at only 10% on average. To have success here, you're going to need to have a hot putter here. This has been known as a putting contest at times over the years. I expect a winning score somewhere around minus 25 or so. So some key stats here will be strokes gained off the tee, approach with an emphasis on 100 to 125 yards, birdies a better percentage, par 5 scoring, and then putting as well.
So just a rapid fire breakdown as always from Snyder. You know what I miss? We didn't get like, the big words about the greens. Usually we get like the I think it's undulated or angulated greens. Or rough. Maybe that's the rough. We didn't really get any of that.
Penile, I think, was thrown in there, Dunkel. Was that correct?
He might have dropped the penile in there. That might have happened. But yeah, obviously the things we all look forward to. But no, good stuff all around. Of course, Kev, you got it. Kurt burner. I think we all have our own burners except for me. So keep up the good work, everybody, working on your burners. But without further ado, let's dive into DFS. Snyder, obviously off your course breakdown. Let's start with you. I know we haven't started with you in a few weeks now. So DFS wise, who do we like at the top? Who do we like at the middle? And before you go, man, your boy Morikawa is at the top. As far as odds go, a lot of folks at the top, actually. Looks like a tie for three people at the top. And then you got Hideki and Max Homa behind. I mean, just a really, really watered down field this week. Well, at least in my opinion, this is. Now, I'll let you guys talk more on that. But separate from that, Justin Thomas, whose game couldn't even be found 2 weeks ago, is now 20-1 to win a tournament. It's just kind of crazy how that goes. So, and I'll let one of you want to talk on maybe that being an overreaction, or maybe he just found his game and maybe that is good odds. But either way, Snyder, from a DFS perspective, who are you taking at the top and who do you like at the bottom?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to gravitate back to JT here. He's still priced up in the 10K range at 10K flat. I don't think I'm going to get there, though, this week. I think he's going to be 20 plus percent. Fowler looks like the highest owned golfer in this top range, and that's going to leave my guy Morikawa under-owned, I think, right around 15%, so I might as well just go right back to him off the flop leg there. The miscut last week definitely hurt some people for sure, as he was gaining traction as the event teed off there. Absolutely horrible round one day, but then he fires a 63 on Friday to miss the cut on the number. So the iron play was right there, round two. I think this course sets up well for him. If he can get that putter going, I definitely like his chances here going down it. And then for a value play, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go down to Doug Gim down here. He's had back-to-back top 15s, 4 straight events inside the top 30 as well. The putter's been up and down for him, but the ball striking's been on point for him. So definitely like me some Doug Gim at maybe around 10 to 12% ownership. I think 7,400. So I'm definitely gonna have some Gim in my builds.
On this week's segment of Name a Golfer Dunkel Doesn't Know Who the Fuck It Is, Doug Gim. Snyder already breaks that. That's a winner. Mangone, we'll go over to you, and Kurt will let you ladder again this week. DFS-wise, who are we looking at this week?
Yeah, I'm going to Doug Gim's cousin, Hideki Matsuyama. Instead.
Jesus Christ.
Hideki is my guy. I'm a big Hideki guy. I've been talking about him the last like couple weeks. I've been on him. Think it's a really good spot. Look at his last 24 rounds. That's a stat I like to look at. Also, approach play, right? I'm a big approach play guy. Last 24 rounds, second in approach. Yes, putter cannot be so hot, but again, I'm playing for the upside, playing with him. I think he's a really good option. So give me Hideki Matsuyama as my favorite spend up DFS option. And I'll say this, Dunkel, I'm going to list some golfers off, but I'm not playing them, right? But like, Tony Finau's the most expensive guy in this field, right? Like, I mean, this field is a different kind of field up top. So the fact that we get Hideki at that price tag, yeah, Ricky Fowler at 10.4K, like, dude, I'll just take Hideki over him at 9.4 instead. So definitely big on Hideki this week. He is my guy. When it comes to the 7K range, for some of the value plays, there's a lot of different ones you can mention, right? And there's going to be some that just become chalkier. I think Austin Eckert's going to be one of the chalkier options. Nothing wrong with him. I think he's a good play. It's all about how you play those options. But one of those guys in that range that I think could be a really interesting pivot. And I'm not saying he's going to be 1% owned, but I think it's going to be lower owned than a lot of guys in this range. It's Taylor Moore. Taylor Moore has played this event before, finished 6th last year. If you had to say, hey, what is a course that fits Taylor Moore? Rocket Mortgage kind of lines up as that kind of course. Just one of those spots where you can go really low, high scoring event. This is the spot for him. So value option at lower ownership, Taylor Moore, that's my guy.
Question for the panel. There's been appears a few comments on Tony Finau's kids. How many kids does he have?
Like 35.
It's
I
lot.
think he's gonna.
All we care about though is Tony Jr. He's gonna be the next good fat golfer, baby. I can't wait. Little fatty, little fat, little midget. Guy can hit it a mile. Little fatty.
He may have a dozen. I'm not sure.
He does have a lot of. I mean, I don't
It's
think
at least 5. At least 5.
I think it's like 9. Like legit.
I think it's 5 kids, guys. Like, I don't
Are
think
we
it's
in like that Nick Cannon bracket where I think Nick Cannon's got like 14?
Yeah,
kids.
but it's all with one woman. Okay, Tony's faithful.
No, he's got like 5 kids. I think it's not like as much as you think. It feels like it's more, to be fair.
Or
They all
even
look
like
the same.
Or even like Antonio Cromartie, who's got like 9 kids with 8 different women.
I think he's up to like 12 now.
He was an absolute legend.
I mean, it's just incredible. Good for him. Good for him and good for his semen. Kurt, on your end, DFS wise, who do we like at the top? Who do we like at the bottom?
I'm going Morikawa up top. I actually love that he missed the cut last week. Not for my lineups last week, but I think it keeps the ownership down just a tiny, tiny bit. It's crazy how he rates out so well at a birdie fest for someone who doesn't have a hot putter, but he does. He grades out very well for these birdie fests. So give me Morikawa at the top on this watered down field. And then for value, I'm going to Seminole, go Knowles. Vincent Norman does well at birdie fest. Last week, obviously, it was a birdie fest. Kind of hit a bump in the road, but he gained strokes total. So it was kind of a weird miscut. And I think it was the U.S. Open too, the one before that. He also gained strokes in the field, but missed the cut. So yes, he's coming off 2 missed cuts, but it's not like the worst performance. He's missing on the number and still hitting the ball pretty well. Got 8th to Byron Nelson, there's not really a great course comp for this. It's another birdie fest. So 8th to Byron Nelson. I think it's time to see another top 10 for Vincent Norman.
Vincent Norman with 2 R's.
2 R's, yes.
Aberg and Cam Davis Chalk Week. I like that, hearing that from Riley, because you guys didn't mention any of them. You know, I think it's good for this show to be contrarian in its own way, and even like sometimes where you guys will mention, hey, look, we expect this person to be chalky, but we're playing him or we're not playing him. So good work on that end, guys. Not even referencing heavy chalk plays. So good stuff there. Kurt, I'll kick it to you for the first outright. Are you sticking with that Morikawa juice off a bad week, or are you?
Yes, I'm going all long shots. Well, not long, but I'm kind of taking some sabs, and probably the lowest I'm going to go, because I'm going to have enough in DFS as far as if like Morikawa, Winter Thomas, that's kind of who I'm focusing on up top. But I'm going Benny on 40-1, having a good season. Also grades well at these birdie fests. I think he can contend this week and give us a shot at 40-1. I'm sure the number has gotten pretty bad, but I like to give the number right before we come on. That way it's more accurate.
What was the last name there, Kurt?
Benny on.
Oh,
A-N.
Feel like it's 2 letters.
Yeah.
Mangone, I'll kick it over to you for your outright. What about you? You sticking with who you're going heavy with DFS wise, or you find better value somewhere else?
Yeah, Doug. Well, the condensed approach has gone well, so we're going to keep sticking with it. We're going with Hideki Matsuyama at 16-1. And listen, if anyone gets upset that I went for too close of of odds to the top, well, I'm just going to tell you, I don't normally do that, right? I'm normally in that 20-1 range or higher. I never really dip down below it, but Hideki's my guy this week. I just think he is the pound for pound best golfer up top. So I'm in on him 16-1. Hopefully he can find the winner's circle this week.
Now, Snyder, I'll let you talk, because just based on, obviously, I'm not in the golf streets every week as far as DFS, but when you see a guy with the odds like Hideki and his price, dude figures to be pretty high owned. Am I incorrect there? Or, maybe one of the higher owned guys on the slate?
Yeah, I think he'll be up there, probably around 25%. So he'll be up near I think Ricky, Hideki, Sungjae will be 3 of the most highest rostered guys. It looks like those 3 are about the highest. And then you got like JT's around 20, I think, and some other guys right around there too. Aberg's going to see some ownership. But
the issue, Snyder, not to cut you off, but the issue up top is like you're not getting anyone at like 5%. Like you're not getting any of those guys this week. It's just not. It's not one of those weeks in DFS. So I'm going to get different. It's down lower with my golfers, right? Or it's going to be with my construction. Maybe it's grabbing 2 or 3 guys up top, and maybe that's not a build that someone's going to, right? It's either looking for a different path or looking for a pivot lower. I'm not really worried at all. Whoever I like up top, I'm just playing and calling it a day.
And let's be honest, guys, right? Like Mangone's one of the best cash game players in all DFS. Like if he's going to eat even somewhat chalk or even a chalky guy, it's probably worth keeping him in your lineup. I know, obviously in this sport, you want to find spots to pivot. And to Mangone's point, in this sport, you can also pivot pretty down low. If it's single entry, you want to play a decky and he's kind of chalk, find a single guy percentage ownership you can stick in that lineup to round it out a little better to keep you different. But no, if Mangone's eating chalk, I think we all should be. But Snyder, in relation to you, you're outright. Who do you like this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tom Kim, a different Asian, as my outright. I like him at 23-1 was the best odds I could find on him. And if he could have just played the holes 10 through 12 last week at even par, he would have been right there in contention to win that event last week. I think he played that whole stretch 12 over par for the weekend. Every day he just got absolutely shit rocked playing those 3 holes. The final day, or it was round 3 actually, he shot 5 over on those 3 holes. He went bogey double to absolutely take him out of consideration for sure there. But I like Tom Kim. It looks like he's got everything back in order here. Finished 7th here last year as well, so I think this is a good spot to target Tom Kim. And I think he's a good tournament play too in DFS as well. He's sandwiched right in between JT and Hideki, so I think he might get a little squeeze there with him being priced a little higher. But I like him from outright for my main outright this week.
Awesome. I'll just give a quick shout to the chat. I've had a few different comments in between. What's up, Colton's dad? What up? Don't you have like a name? You could be like, whoever Colton's dad actually is. But I appreciate it. What's up, my man? Scott Foster. Isn't that your burner, Kurt? Scott?
Everyone in the chat right now is my burner.
Name sounds, I don't know about that, but Scott, I feel like, is always riding the Kurt juices. Von Christie, never bet a golfer under 6 feet. Interesting. And then a quick shout. Oh, Colton's dad back. Kev, the whole bit. Stephen Drake's. Again, guys, you make comments in the chat. We'll give you a brief shout. But we'll move over to Snyder, your long shot. Who do you think with some value this week, 50 or greater to 1, that has a shot to be live?
Yeah, I actually like Austin Eckroth. The best odds I could find on him was 56 to 1 on Eckroth. He's shown some huge birdie upside. He made 26 birdies at the Byron Nelson when he finished second there. He finished 10th at the U.S. Open. He was 16th at the Charles Schwab. Then he was top 25 last week. He made 19 birdies and an eagle last week. So he's got some nice eagle upside, and he's going to see 4 par 5s this week, and they're super easy. So I like the upside of him once you get greater than 50 to 1 for a long shot this week.
Awesome, Mangone. Okay, I'll kick it over to you. Who do you like this week with some value?
Yeah, Alex Smalley is my guy. He's 60 to 1. The stats, I mean, he last 24 rounds. It looks really nice. Approach play, he's in the top 10. He's in 9th. Off the tee, which off the tee definitely matters here, right? To be able to bomb and gouge it here, it's definitely a valuable stat. 15th in the last 24 rounds. Tee to green, he's 9th. Ball striking, 7th. I mean, everything lines up for him. The only thing that he's been terrible at was around the green and putting. But if the irons are clicking around the green, might not matter as much if he's able to, click those irons really well. And then, hey, putting, again, that's the stat that can just flip out of nowhere. And you know where it could flip? The course where people are winning with absurd scores. So I think Alex Smalley at 60 to 1 is a really good shot.
Love it. Love it. And Kurt, I know you said you had a few guys you were going to fire on at longer odds. Maybe who's the one you like the most at longer odds for this tournament?
Nikolai Hogard. So I've been playing him for the last couple of weeks. Didn't realize it was actually the Birdie Fest that get him going because he doesn't play that many. But we got him at a Birdie Fest. Grades out well, 9 to 1. He's not won on PGA Tour yet, but he does have 3 European wins. So it's not like he pisses down his leg all the time. And he's been in it a little bit on the PGA Tour, but maybe we get him over the hump here at a kind of watered down tournament.
Wow, I mean, you could have given me 1,000 opportunities to spell Hogard, and I wouldn't have come fucking close. I mean, a fucking J in there, like two A's or 2 R's.
2 A's. That's funny.
No, but good stuff. Good stuff. 90 to 1, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Kurt, we'll stick with you for T20s. Who do we like in that regard?
I'm going Tom Hoagie, another guy that put great grades out at World Birdie Fest. There's the model this week for me, guys. The approach numbers are a little bit scary. They've not been that great lately, but throughout his career, he's been a great approach player. Have to kind of think that rights the ship a little bit. Plus 440 just seems like a good number on FanDuel for me. For Mr. Hoagie. Yeah.
440 seems pretty massive for him.
I thought so too.
Mangone, on your end, T20, who's on the board?
Yep. T20 going right back to my guy. I mentioned Alex Smalley. Like his upside here. He's plus 225. I already mentioned all the stats, right? But it just seems like a really good spot to, just keep chasing his upside. If you want to, T20, T10, T5 it, he's tailing all the way up if you really want to, kind of like the alt lines you do in other sports. So Alex Smalley is definitely one of my guys I'm going to be high on this week. Good
stuff. And Snyder, getting some chatter in terms of your soldiers and in terms of liking Sargent. Obviously, if he's in your shoulders, you obviously probably like him. Do you want to talk a little bit about him before you give out a T20?
Yeah, I think Sargent's a fine option this week. He's super long off the tee. He's going to bomb it and gouge it. I think he was solid at the U.S. Open, finished inside the top 40 at the U.S. Open. So I definitely think he's live to have some pretty big upside here. And then for my top 20, I'm going to go with Brian Harman at plus 230. I think that's pretty good odds. He shot 66 or better all 4 rounds last week. Finished second place there. Just didn't have enough to get over the hump there, but he made 24 birdies to 4 bogeys. So I think he's got some pretty big upside. And I listened to another podcast where he was talking about his game's finally in the right spot where he wants it to be. He says he's playing the best golf of the year, and it made sense last week as he shot 66, 66, 64, 64. So definitely like Harman to top 20 at plus 230. I think that's really good odds.
Awesome. And just to ask this quick from Dub J, I assume he means underdog pick'ems. You gonna have anything tonight for that in my Discord?
Yeah, I'll have some of that out. I usually don't play that much in round one. I kind of like to feel things out, but yeah, last week we had I think 2 of the 3 days we hit on our underdog plays, but I'll get in there and check some out for tomorrow and post them in Discord for sure.
Awesome. And Mangone, Cash Goat, the ownership. I know that Kev had said 22 to 25% on both those guys, Eckroat and Aberg. Does that make sense with what you're seeing?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Eckroat definitely for sure is going to get steamed up, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just about how you play them, though, right? Like you don't want to be playing like all these guys at 20% because how on earth are you going to like gain ground on the field if you have a 20% guy? Like let's say every single guy in your lineup's like 15 to 20% owned. Well, you're never going to make ground because someone's going to have at least one of those lower owned gems that kind of gets the job done. The only way you'll get that is if you pitch the perfect score of first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and like, listen, that's just not happening. You could still win tournaments by having guys get you in like the 20th range. So you just got to kind of find those lower owned gems at times. You can eat good chalk, but you just got to figure out how to kind of do it.
Fair enough. And Snyder, I'll kick it over to your matchup. And just real quick, folks, 40 plus of you watching, feel free to like the video. Don't be shitheads. Doesn't take a lot to like the video. Just go ahead and just flick or click. I don't care what you do. Throw your remote at the mouse. It doesn't really matter to me how you like the video. Just like the video. Snyder, for your matchup, who do you like this week?
Yeah, I'm going to be arm in arm with Mangone here. Talk about one of the guys he's been on high on here. And my guy, Hideki Matsuyama, minus 130 versus Keegan Bradley. Keegan's coming off pretty much the best win of his career, aside from that the PGA championship he won years ago. This is the biggest payday he's had in probably, I think it was a bigger payday than the PGA championship, as these elevated events have had higher prize pools. So I'm going to be fading Keegan here this week and attacking Hideki over him, minus 130.
Cool. Mangone, and I don't mind that at all. I mean, obviously, it does seem like a bit of a hangover type of course for our friend Bradley. Also, not in the Northeast, correct? Rocket Mortgage?
No, sir.
Mangone matchup. Who do you like this week?
Yeah, it's funny. I saw the same one Snyder saw. You're not going to get us hitting the same one, Dunkel. Don't you worry. Because I shopped around. I went over to FanDuel.com instead of DK because I don't know. I just was like, sometimes you never know.
You're about to take mine. You're about to take mine.
Am I? Well, that sucks, Kurt. That's how the order goes. Hideki Matsuyama, I got him minus 125 over Max Homa. And Max Homa just has not been it, right? Like, and there's just times where these golfers suck. Like, remember Justin Rose? He had a really, really bad stretch where he was just terrible. I'm like, Max Homa hasn't been it, and I don't think it's going to change here. I'm going with Hideki minus 125. One of my favorite matchups I've found probably this year.
And it's actually funny. Colton's dad saying that some people get high on meth and Snyder gets higher on golf. Yeah, impressive. It wouldn't even surprise me if you use golf videos to help you sleep at night. Kind of like certain drugs would. But it's all in good stuff. I mean, obviously, it's you live, eat, and breathe it.
Kurt, I want the documentary of Snyder, and I want to watch him just like on the course, just like touching the green grass, right, and just doing everything, smelling the air. I mean, I think it would just be an absolute pleasure to watch.
Some would call that quite a fetish, man. Going if somebody starts an OnlyFans and they're just touching things on golf courses, it looks like they have a huge fan already.
I mean, listen, I might subscribe. I might be interested.
And if it happens to be Snyder starting that OnlyFans, oh boy, Kurt, on your end. JSU snorts athletic green. I believe that as well. Kurt, on your end, favorite matchup for this week?
I think I misheard what Mangone was saying. That's why I thought he took mine. But I'm going to Benny on over Keegan Bradley. And here's kind of the thing. I don't think Keegan's going to play bad. I think he makes the cut and everything. But the fact that you go from winning the tournament at a Birdie Fest shooting 26 under, I think, or something was that, and then you're going to come here the next week and it's going to be another. Tony's saying 30 under par will be the winner. That's exhausting. Like every hole, like you're like, oh, I got a birdie to stay in, like staying just like I don't know. I just think that's a lot of pressure going back to back Birdie Fest, just keeping the pedal to the metal. So I'm going Benny on over Keegan Bradley. I'm getting plus odds on that, plus 110 at FanDuel.
I don't think Keegan's gonna gain 7 strokes putting too. Like that was
he definitely was. But his tee to green wasn't bad either, though. Like it's not like, but yeah, he was gaining a lot.
I think that was the most strokes putting he's ever gained in his career. But
it had to be. It was insane.
I will say, you guys made it tough this week. You all brought a good amount of A game to this show, but I will say the MVP this week, dun. Kurt this week is the MVP. I thought he did really well. Every segment had a lot of detail, stuck with his guy Benny on throughout the show, ended with him over Bradley. So, Kurt, you have the floor for final notes. Say your piece.
This is going to be a Justin Suh hate segment. Justin Suh is 138th in the field in tee to green the past 30 rounds. 138th. He's 138th. He's first in putting. He's 7,900, something ridiculous. If this guy, look, I love agents. I love Suh. Got him in Rainmakers. Love the guy. If this guy's 138th tee to green and he screws me because I'm fading this week, it's done. I'm concussing myself. 138th in tee to green, people. 138th.
That was Justin Thomas, you said, or somebody else?
Justin Suh.
Oh, Suh.
First in the last 30 rounds, 138th tee to green.
I've seen Kurt punch himself before too, numerous times. So
that's about to make me do that.
Couldn't concuss himself.
Is Suh supposed to see decent ownership this week?
Probably 10%, right, Snyder? I mean,
oh yeah, probably. Let me see. Yeah, probably around 10% for sure.
Yeah, 10% too much because he's 138th tee to green. That's enough to miss the cut. If this guy putts, if he's like 15th in putting this week, he's gonna miss the cut probably. That's how bad tee to green's been.
Riley's asking about any body of love. I don't even know who the fuck that is. So
I always play Akshay, and he continues to screw me, but I'm going to continue doing it because I'm an idiot. So
I think he's a solid tournament player for sure. He's got good upside.
And folks, obviously, like the video if you have not already. Also, check us out on puresports.com. There's going to be another private show. That starts at 9, right, guys?
That was last night.
They moved it. Yeah, they moved it.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot the private stuff's on Tuesday. Either way, of course, you can watch it back if you're a member. It is a private show. Or, of course, just get all the content. Obviously, all the playbooks, all the breakdowns, and player pools, core plays, the whole bit. RunPureSports.com. Code SUMMER33 for 33% off. With all that said, I hope you all gamble responsibly, stay safe, and as always, run pure. We'll see you guys next week.